Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels might seem like a children's adventure tale at first glance, but make no mistake, it is one of the sharpest, most brilliant works of political and social satire ever written. Through the bizarre journeys of Lemuel Gulliver to far-off lands, Swift doesn't just entertain us, he boldly critiques the systems, beliefs, and behaviors of his time, and uncannily, of our time too. Let's start with Gulliver's first stop, Lilliput, the land of tiny people with equally tiny minds when it comes to politics. Here, Swift satirized the absurdity of the British political scene. The people of Lilliput are divided into factions over ridiculously trivial issues, like which end of an egg should be cracked first. This is Swift mocking the endless bickering between the Whigs and the Tories, and by extension, all political parties that waste time fighting over minor ideological differences while ignoring real problems. Sounds familiar, right? Even today, we see governments and politicians locked in endless debates over symbolic issues while global crises go unresolved. Swift saw it in his time and called it out with biting wit. In Brobdingnag, the land of giants, Gulliver becomes the tiny one, and his proud stories about British civilization are met with horror by the king. Here, Swift flips the perspective to show us how ridiculous and cruel our world looks from the outside. When Gulliver boasts about weapons, wars, and the British legal system, the king is disgusted. He calls Europeans the most pernicious race of little odious vermin. Swift uses the king as a moral voice, exposing the violence, hypocrisy, and arrogance of European imperialism and nationalism. It's a wake-up call, then and now, for how we rationalize cruelty in the name of civilization. Next is Lapta, the floating island of intellectuals who are so obsessed with abstract theories and impractical science that they are completely detached from the real world. This is Swift's scathing critique of the Enlightenment obsession with reason. While Enlightenment thinkers celebrated logic and progress, Swift pointed out the dangers of ungrounded intellect. In Laptai, scientists try to extract sunlight from cucumbers and build houses from the roof down. It's ridiculous, but it mirrors the kind of over-intellectualized, out-of-touch thinking that can still be found in academia and tech today. Think of algorithms that spread misinformation, or billionaires funding Mars missions while ignoring poverty on Earth. Swift warns, reason without humanity is meaningless. And then we reach perhaps the most powerful and unsettling part of the book, the land of the Houyhnhnms, rational horses who live in harmony and peace, contrasted with the Yahoos, savage human-like creatures driven by lust, greed, and violence. Gulliver is so repulsed by the Yahoos that he begins to hate his own species and idolize the Houyhnhnms. Swift ends the journey here, leaving us in discomfort. Is Swift saying that humans are hopeless? That we should all be more like rational animals? Not quite. He's forcing us to confront the ugliest parts of human nature, our capacity for cruelty, pride, and self-deception. But he's also warning against trying to escape humanity altogether, because even that desire, to be pure reason, like the Houyhnhnms, can be dangerous. So, what's Swift really telling us with Gulliver's Travels? That our systems, governments, science, philosophy, colonialism, are all vulnerable to corruption and absurdity when we lose sight of humility and morality. His satire spares no one. He mocks the king and the commoner, the intellectual and the brute, the colonizer and the colonized. And he does it all with language that's sharp, funny, and devastatingly honest. What makes this book so enduring, so relevant, is how easily we can see ourselves in it today. Just like the Lilliputians, we get caught up in petty online arguments. Like the Laputans, we build technologies we don't fully understand or control. Like the Yahoos, we chase power and pleasure at any cost. And like Gulliver himself, we often refuse to see our own flaws until we are forced to confront them head-on. Swift's genius lies not just in pointing out what's wrong, but in making us laugh, squirm, and reflect while he does it. He holds up a mirror to society and says, "This is you. Are you proud of what you see?" It's satire at its finest, funny, fierce, and deeply thought-provoking. So next time someone tells you Gulliver's Travels is just a kid's book, tell them it's one of the most cutting social critiques ever written, and that Jonathan Swift, centuries ago, understood human nature perhaps better than we do today.